Yeah, welcome back to the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors. This beautiful outdoor playground of a state, nation, and world that we live in. Appreciate you checking out the channel. Now, here's one of the things that we have done since 2013. That's right, 13 years of outdoor radio excellence and streaming excellence. Yeah, I'm not an influencer. We'll get to that a little bit. The P word is by far the worst word we have here in our outdoor world, and that, of course, is poaching. Poachers are stupid. They're mangy, to quote some lion. But they are the bane of our outdoor existence. Now, I've talked about cases several times of poaching. I've talked about punishment and poaching. Talked about my idea on how to eliminate poaching, but it doesn't seem to work. And a lot of the poaching that we see, because we get to see this type of stuff, is done on social media. We have the example. The latest example is from Columbus, Ohio. Columbus residents William Bethel. Now, William Bethel, that's this jabroni right here. Okay, that's William Bethel, holding one hell of a whitetail. And by the way, that should be your first. That should be your first clue right there. That guy's out there in a $5 Bass Pro Trucker hat and looks like just something he picked up out of Walmart as far as clothing is concerned, and he is holding this giant buck. That might be your first. Anyway, that's William Bethel. And his buddy, who's but Justin Booth. So William Bethel's 28, Justin Booth 23. They were charged the end of last year with dozens of wildlife violations documented from 2019 to 2025. Understand, 6 years. These bozos ran a YouTube channel called Creek Kings. Don't go looking for it anymore. It's gone. It's done, and it's because these guys are a couple of asshats. So let's talk about what they did and what they are punished with. Ohio DWR, Department of Wildlife Resources, lasted more than a year, uncovered illegal hunting activities in the Three Creeks Metro Park and other properties where the men didn't have permission to hunt. You're hunting places you don't have permission to be. That's poaching. Okay. They also claimed to have tagged deer in Kentucky, which they were actually taken in Ohio. That's right. The motivation for the wildlife crimes, they say, as far as the Department of Wildlife Resources is concerned, was for financial gain on YouTube. That makes sense, right? This is what they were doing. To quote Mark Williams, the investigating warden, the most viewed videos on a deer hunting channel are generally going to be the ones where you kill a trophy buck. More views, more subscriptions means that they have a lot more bargaining power when it comes to talking to a sponsor in the future. Now, Warden Mark there doesn't seem to understand how YouTube works. They were making lots of money on YouTube. Yes, when it comes to talking to a sponsor in the future, even when they killed these Kentucky deer, they had a sponsorship saying, hey, we're going to pay you for a deer of a certain score or higher. So they're claiming that there were sponsors. So let's talk about the culpability pie here. Who's the most culpable? Is it the people paying these jabronis for their record harvest or their trophy harvest? Or is it the guys actually taking it? Who has more of the culpability pie? I say these slappies do. And so with that in mind, they went and poached these aminals. In May, that's why it's making kind of its way through the news now. They each pled guilty to 20 counts. Here's what those counts included: hunting a deer without a permit, poaching; hunting a deer without permission, poaching; hunting a deer in a closed season, outside of a closed season, poaching; failing to check a deer, poaching; criminal trespass, and more and more. kind of like the old Gilligan's Island theme, and the rest. After fines and fees, the court costs or combined financial penalties totaled a little over $37,000 for 20 counts of poaching. Each has been ordered to serve 9 whole days in jail and have their hunting, fishing, trapping privileges revoked for 5 whole years in Ohio. They can go hunt anywhere else in the world. They can move anywhere else in the world. They can go back to hunting and doing their thing. But they just can't do it in Ohio. Damn it. They're also barred in Columbus and Franklin County metro parks for 5 years as well. Can't even go to the parks. This is absurd. This is embarrassing. Because, going back to Warren Mark over there. Warren Mark says, hey, they're advertisers. That's where they're making their money. No. They made a lot of money on YouTube. YouTube, in certain cases, will pay $5,000 to $10,000 per million views. Probably 10, probably 5 to 8-ish for a million views on a video. They had more than that. $37,000 they were fined. 20 counts. I would say this is the game warden's version of a grip and grin. Yeah, so here it is. This is look at what we've done. Look at, we've taken these ne'er-do-wells out of here for 5 whole years. And boy, we fined them $37,000. Damn, did we show them. I'm not ripping the Department of Wildlife Resources. That's their game and fish department, what we call here in Arizona. I'm not ripping them. They're doing what is within their rights and what their law says. Poaching laws need to change. Poaching punishment needs to change in a big way. And I say now that in the day of social media, it can change pretty easily. I would say it would easily align with the current punishment. So the reason where that 37,000 came from, most likely, is the commercial value or the ecological value, whatever. They put a dollar amount on each of the animals poached. Like, say it's $8,000 for a deer, $10,000 for now. Okay, I'm just throwing numbers out there, but that's what they say. Now they total those up, and they say you owe us, the Department of Conservation or the Game and Fish Department, you owe us this money. I think in these cases, the money the revenue they generated from each of those videos needs to be tacked onto it as well. It's tens of thousands of dollars. Start changing. Because I understand that the poaching game is changing. The poaching game is changing for several reasons. There's some sociological changes going on, societal changes going on. I get that. But when you look at the influencer game, that's a great way to make an example of these slappies that are out there just making a ton of money poaching wildlife. These aren't the first influencers to get busted. There was a husband and wife team we talked about about a year or so ago. Yeah. But again, their punishment was nothing. Oh, but Mike, they're shunned in the community. Okay. They got to go get another job. And then you take on top of that the number one job goal, career goal, life goal of kids under 25, social media influencer. Number one, far and away, social media influencer. I think it's 20 and below. I'm sorry. You get raised in a hunting family. You grow up watching the Outdoor Channel, watching YouTube and all these slappies. I can do that. Kind of hard to do it here in Arizona. Let's see, like, oh, look, Mike got another pigeon. Pigeons are delicious, by the way. And you can hunt 24/7, 24/7, 365. There is no season. Do whatever you want here in Arizona. I don't know about the other states. Anyway. So look and they say, yeah, I can do that too. And then they get some views. They kind of get their process down. They get their branding down. They start getting a little bit of attention. And then, oh crap, they don't have tags. Or, where they usually hunt, es no bueno. Just dead out there. I need video content. People do a lot. Listen, when you hire a camera person, when you hire an editor, you hire a social media person, you're getting content. Sometimes, in this case, by hook or crook, you are getting content. Creek Kings. It's hard to say even. I didn't come up with that name. Creek Kings. Yeah. It's tough to say. Anyway, unless we get serious about the punishment, these guys should be in jail. Period. They should be in jail. Just from the influence that they had on people oh, yeah, I can go out and poach. That's a good idea. They need to be probably that's a little much. They need to be rung up. See? I can change it to midstream. Look at that. I am a professional. Not an influencer. Just a guy with a show. Been doing it for 13 years. And hates poaching. Hates poaching. And this is a problem that's coming up, is the influencer poaching game. And just so if we're going to peel back the curtain here, a lot of the TV shows you see, those are canned hunts, guided hunts. Again, you need content. Nobody's going to watch a show that has 13 episodes in a season and only 2 of those episodes they actually harvest something. Nobody's going to watch that show. Western Hunter's the closest to that. The majority of places you go, oh, hey, today we're out on my buddy's ranch. Okay. Yeah. Oh, today's the last day of the hunt. Oh, it's so formulaic. It's so bad. This has gotten so bad. Anyway, Creek Kings. Rest in misery is Slappies. The channel, rest in misery. These 2 kids will grow and hopefully have productive lives. Who knows? They should be in jail. Period. End of story. They should be in jail. Thanks for hanging out with us. This is The Go Show. Celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of the state, nation, and world that we live in. We'll see you next time, y'all.